right, welcome to the second game of the evening. Hopefully, you don't have too much in the way of problems finding these, Petty. So,
Uh,
it,
we'll find out.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that might be the thing that makes or breaks this format shift. Is how much of an editing job is it? Like,
One way to find out.
yep. Anyway, welcome to the second review, which is Loot Hero DX. Um, If this is the deluxe version,
I
good
was
God.
gonna say, if this is the deluxe, what the heck is the original?
Probably less levels, like maybe like 3 areas as opposed to the 10 that this has got. Um, because yeah, this is not a lot of a game,
Yeah,
even
you're a
by
knight. You run right and kill things. You can, at any particular choice that you want to, run to the left and kill things instead, because things respawn pretty much as soon as they're off the screen. Everything you kill drops money and experience, and sometimes they drop either healing potions or invincibility potions. You can spend the loot to increase 4 of your stats. Eventually you just get super fast and you run left and right really, really fast and kill lots of things. And your goal is to uh, get to the end of the game and kill the dragon, because the dragon is bad. And then after that, everything increases in level, so you can do it again, and it's harder because you're stronger now. And also, every time you beat the dragon at a new, harder level, you get a miner who will mine gold for you over time, regardless of whether or not you're playing the game, which turns it into kind of an idle game, except for that the only thing that it unlocks is money, which, frankly, is not super hard to get reasonably fast. But and you can't hold millions of gold anyway. You can only hold like 999, or you can only hold 99,999 gold.
Mhm. And yeah, that's pretty much the extent. That is the extent of the game.
Yeah,
Pretty
and
much
every
about it.
stage, even though they have different aesthetics and different enemy designs, and there are bestiary entries for all of the enemies in the game. Each zone has the exact same 5 enemy categories. They have a small guy, mounted small guy, bigger guy, mounted bigger guy, and boss at the end of level.
Yes. Now, that being said, it's not always going to be a straight march because sometimes the enemy will get a little too pointy for you to advance,
Yeah, if
and
you hit an enemy without killing it, and you don't have a high enough defense score or an invulnerability potion, you take damage from it. And when you're killing enemies in fairly rapid succession, that can add up very quickly to you dying if you run too fast. But if you do that, you need to go to one of the many identical buildings along your route and just upgrade some.
I literally thought I was running in circles.
Yeah, you can usually go backwards, and the enemies are a little bit tougher toward the end of every stage than they are at the beginning.
uh-huh. And that goes double time for the boss as well. Like the boss is going to be your literal biggest challenge, and but not
Although
that.
there is only one of the boss.
Yeah,
The boss is harder than any one given enemy, but I'm not sure if the boss is harder than the entire group of enemies between House 7 and House 8.
that was definitely true of the last boss, the dragon.
Yeah, the dragon is actually kind of dangerous.
Uh,
Also, annoyingly, I think, the loot you get in the levels, this is mostly relevant early in the game before you've turned into a fucking lawnmower. The loot you get in the levels does not scale linearly. The Rat Men, which is stage 2, drop more treasure than
Mhm.
stage 3 or stage 4.
Fine.
Yep. and that will continue. Like, yeah, there are some levels where they are just dropping nothing but coppers, or silvers, or the lowest form of currency, and others, you're getting the gold coins en masse. Yeah. Guess what?
So
you
the
use
enemies do have slightly different attributes, as if that really matters much. When you upgrade, you do get visual changes to your armor and lance for increasing your attack and defense. I don't know if I think something increases or changes when you do crit, possibly the color of the lance, because attack changes the point on your lance, I think. But like functionally, it doesn't really matter because at some point you can barely, like at the point where I'm at, you will run past you will run past most of the bosses because you're going so fast without actually killing them, and then you have to turn around and come back to kill them if you're upgrading things remotely evenly. If you stop at a shop, you can see that you can upgrade the 4 attributes, and they have levels that go from 1 to 10. And then when you get them to 10, it blips a star up above it. And when you get a new star, the designs repeat for the next like series of levels up to 10. And then once you get to the once you complete the 4th star, it just stays that way forever.
Right.
It's kind of a shame because I'm not actually a super huge fan of the level 9 lance.
And as in terms of the graphics, like everything's fairly clean, fairly
it's
simple.
pixely, but you're going to be running so fast that you literally don't have time to see stuff. I literally have to turn my speed down to see what's happening.
Like everything looks pretty good, very solid. The art direction is all right. The music is what you'd expect.
It's charging gallantly forward music generally.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it.
That's the only fucking thing you do in this game.
But what if you run backward?
You're still you're just charging gallantly forward in the opposite direction. There's still enemies there. It's still forward.
Yes, it is.
This is how I imagine a Dynasty Warriors demake to end up.
Kind, except for in Dynasty Warriors, you like get to push buttons to do attacks.
Yeah.
Fair.
Dynasty Warriors does have more thought than this.
Yeah.
Not much thought, but you do have to press at least 2 buttons in a Dynasty Warriors game or a Muso. This
2 buttons aside, the button you use to move around.
Yeah. This outside of like entering or buying shit.
Or going to check at the mine every few hours to see how much gold your miners have dug up. You get an additional miner every time you beat the dragon.
Right. Yeah.
So your idle loot generation is faster. Yay.
Hooray. It means you get to play the game less, which is definitely a look. Because technically this isn't an idle game, but it the makers of this also made Plantera, which we reviewed ages ago. And
it is a game. It is a game you can progress in while idle. Although you only get money from that, you don't get experience, which increases your stats. Also, I think.
Yeah.
The difference between this and an idle game is that an idle game usually has multiple ways of progressing, and also then it lets you progress the ways of progressing.
I guess it was really handy that we reviewed an idle game last week.
Like if this was an idle game, you wouldn't just get miners. You'd also like get a gym and get gym trainers, and then like unlock multiple nights to play levels while you weren't there, and then eventually the game would just progress to you like clicking back and forth on a map of campaigns instead of running back and forth in individual stages or something.
Yep. And anyway, in terms of pricing, So Loot Hero DX clocks in on the PC at $2.99. It's got an original soundtrack for $2.99. The entire thing can be had for $3.99, and indeed you can get the entire Vargaret's P Studios collection. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right, but you can get the entire collection for $9.40. Like,
And on Switch, how much is it?
let me look here. I think it's like five. I want to say $5. Hang on, the screen's not coming up here. Why are you not coming up?
I mean, I'm really gonna leave this up to you about how much you like running back and forth and idle shit, or idle stuff, because I would have paid maybe $1 for this, but
I'm like, as far as the PC version goes, I'd say you'd probably be better served with a proper idle game.
Yeah, like stuff like Zombiidle is free.
Mm-hmm. Or the Lawnmower idle game we just did.
I mean, on the other hand, at least this doesn't have monetization in it.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
Like, yeah, it's
like I have a hard time saying it's bad because there's just not enough there for it to actually be bad.
I'm like, it's just, even on a simple game scale, this is kind of uninteresting. You know?
Mm-hmm. I did find it vaguely soothing, I guess.
Soothing?
To just run back and forth and have numbers go up, but, whatever.
I mean, once again, I get that, but that's kind of what idle games are for.
Yeah.
Like, if I want to do that, I'll go get a free idle game.
Mm-hmm.
This is like that's kind of the grand irony of Loot Hero DX here. It's got a little too much gameplay, and not enough meta game for it to be like a proper idle game.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess if you plunk down the money for it, it's only a couple of dollars, so you're probably not going to feel cheated out of like $2-3.
Yeah, it's just if you like sitting down and watching numbers go up as you run back and forth, that's okay. But otherwise, literally consider which you'd enjoy would occupy more of this time, or fill more of your time enjoyably. This game or the value meal you could have bought with the same amount of money.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I'm one level away from the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
The dragon will probably kick your ass once.
Yeah. In terms of like actual content, you can blitz through this game in a half an hour.
At this point, I've beaten the dragon 8 times just because I was doing it while I was watching other shit.
I mean, you don't even have to really watch the game outside of, do the upgrades to the knight.
Right, and just do that. That's what I've been doing. I've been just doing that when my money maxes out.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's like literally hold the control stick in one of two directions. You don't even have to worry about up and down.
I will say this, though. The meta of the game is actually somewhat harmed by the invulnerability potion, because if you want to look at it as an actual game, which, sure, if you can like stand near a save point or shop and run back and forth until you notice that you're glowing yellow with the invulnerability potion, and then you can make it further than you should be able to make with the invulnerability potion.
Yeah. I'm surprised we've managed to talk about this game for this long.
So, Petty, what's your speed at next time you get to a shop?
12.
Just what's it actually set at, and what is your grade at?
I'm set to speed 12.
Okay, yeah. So just for an idea of how much faster, I mean, it doesn't go linearly or anything, but just for an idea, Petty is currently at speed 12. My character and my game, where I'm running back and forth, is set at speed 53, and that's because my cap speed is 136. And if you put it that fast, you not only run past the boss, but you run so far off screen that it takes like a few seconds to get back on screen to deal the second blow that actually kills them.
That is fast.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, a few levels after level 40 or something, that's the highest level you can actually get to, your crit rate caps out at 100%. And yes, you can continue putting money into it, but it ain't do anything.
I mean, I guess what else are you going to do with your money?
You can always keep increasing your attack and defense, as far as I can tell.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, you get stuck with the aesthetics of the purple lance, the level 9 or whatever armor, and the weird crossbow looking thing on the end, which is
Right.
better than the donk hammer. But the one I actually liked the best was the level 8 lance, where it's a proper drill.
Right. Anyway, I think that'll about do it for Loot Hero DX.
Let's see if I can kill the dragon.
Oh, well, one other thing.
Killed it.
To give you an idea of how much they want you to play this game, you're horribly overpowered by level about 50 or something. There are further achievements. There are 25 achievements in the game. Most of them you'll get way earlier than that, but the last 2 are for reaching level 100 and beating the dragon on difficulty 90.
Well then.
So if you spend that much time on the game, good for you.
The psychiatrist will see you by the end of the week.
Lose track of the rest of your life.
All right. So that'll about do for this. But we need to end the stream. I just remembered something that does influence these things.
Ah.
Yeah. But so after the break, Petty Fan will be talking about Teratopia.